So, thank you for taking the time to watch how two of us are getting together to learn from each other about our companies and how they can work together. I have below all the different links that are going to be listed. That way you don't have to walk through the whole entire video.
Right. And we did a lot of extra sharing tonight just because we're fun people and that's what we do.
Exactly. So I just thought I'd share that with y'all tonight. Anyway.
All right. That
Have a
sounds
blessed
good.
one. Thanks
God
for
bless
watching.
everyone. Take care.
Hi everybody, my name is Jamie Niemeyer. I am with the Juice Plus company. We also have a great product called the Tower Garden, and today I'm going to show you how to start seeds. And we're going to go through the process of how these seeds grow, how we move them from starter seeds into the Tower Garden, and how amazing this product is and what we can do to use it to sustain growing our own vegetables to eat that are pure, clean, no recalls. I mean, you can eat off this thing for like 4 months. It's amazing. So stay with me and we've got lots of great stuff for you. All right, so I'm gonna start off with telling you that this is the Tower Garden. This is the home version. And it has a base down here. You can take this off and in here will be your water and your minerals that will actually use a pump that will push the water up like a showering system to nurture all of your produce that you have growing in here. There are 16, these are called the herb area where you can grow herbs up here. So 16 spouts to do herbs and 16 spouts to do greens. You can also do tomatoes or strawberries if you would like to self-germinate inside, or they also have a flex edition which goes outside and will germinate itself, so you don't have that issue. But this grows greens great.
Do you always have to use the herbs on the top?
You don't. You can grow mini greens up there, microgreens.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so this is an area for herbs or microgreens.
Oh.
Yep. So
Cool.
And people have actually done watermelon outside and have gotten in 45 days they get a watermelon like this. And we're talking this is better than organic. There's no bugs, no weeds, no dirt, no sprays, nobody touching your food at the produce, no recalls on any of the produce. You don't have to worry about any.
Right.
Bugs.
Fantastic.
Yes, it's awesome. So these are lid lights. This is a self timer that will it'll turn on. So 14-hour day. It's on its own timer system. It is sustainable, maintenance free.
I didn't know that was lights.
Yep, these are lights. So I will actually plug them in. Oh wait, that's my phone. And I'm actually not going to get this going yet because today we're just going to start the seeds.
Yep.
And eventually when the seeds grow up and they're able to be put in the Tower Garden, when they're strong enough, then...
So what's the, from planting them that day to putting them in take?
Typically like 2 to 3 weeks depending on what you're growing.
Okay.
Yep.
And there's a chart or a book that comes with to tell you?
Yeah, so you get a whole instruction booklet that tells you the lights on for you.
Oh, whoa.
That's your lights.
Wow.
The other benefit I noticed with this is that it reset my circadian, what is this? The rhythm.
The rhythm, sleep rhythm of your body.
Circadian rhythm, I think that's what it's called. There's a rhythm,
Okay.
body rhythm. I typically set mine for 6 a.m. to come on and go off at 8 p.m.
Oh.
I found that my body at about 8 o'clock when this shut off, all of a sudden my body would start to unwind and I'd feel tired. I'd get in bed by 9:30, do all my wind down, do some reading, whatever, wind down. When this thing came on at 6 o'clock, it was like the sun rose in here and I was awake and I had a good night's
So
rest.
you didn't even have to worry about shutting it down or being away from it because it shut down and then you were able to sleep through it.
Yes.
That is fantastic.
Yes. And so really the only thing that you have to do to maintain it is when the water level gets low, and this is a float that tells me, so when it's full, it's up. This is like full, this is half, and when it gets to about half, that's when you want to start adding more water.
Oh, wow.
Yep, and then you'll check the pH, kind of like a swimming pool. You'll check your pH to make sure your pH is healthy.
Okay.
And you'll have to add there's a base and an acid. I'll show those. Comes with a pH kit.
Okay.
Right here to test.
Ooh.
And it comes with acidic or base to be able to adjust your pH.
Nice.
And there's actually strips that come in the pH kit and a dropper. You drop your dropper in
Okay.
in your little cup
and we'll go through all of that later on. And then there's a test strip that you match up the color.
Oh,
And I actually wrote on mine, so I know what I need to add depending on the color of it.
nice.
Because where you want it is right in
Right
here.
in the happy.
Right in the happy of the green.
Yep.
Yep. So.
So you're your own scientist.
You kind of are, and you know it's good fun, and it's really rewarding when you grow your own stuff. So
Amen.
the minerals that you use for the tower garden are completely organic. There's nothing chemicals involved or anything. It's a garden mineral blend. That's A, and
Okay.
this is B. And we'll go further into detail with this as to how much ratio and stuff that we add when we get to the tower itself.
Gotcha. I wonder if Juice Plus actually uses this to grow their food, to do their supplementations of their capsules.
I know they work with specific farmers.
I
and that
know.
They have fields
I
and
just
fields and
kind of
fields.
get interested because you know that would be very cool to know that they're probably doing the same darn thing. They're just doing it at a bigger facility.
Well, I know that there are tower garden farms. There's greenhouses where they have
Really?
greenhouses full of these things.
Nice.
And they are actually gardening and providing for communities. There is
Nice.
a guy that's in New York, in the Bronx. His name, Tim Blank is the founder. He's the one. He worked for Disney. He was a horticulturist. They're one of their head horticulturists, and he's the one who engineered this and they got with the Juice Plus company. But I know that there's a guy, and I can't think of his name right now. He wears a cheese hat. He's got this cheese hat that he wears all the time. But he works with kids in the schools, and they actually have tower gardens in the school. And the kids that were not doing well and not staying in school, not really doing well with grades and everything, he talked with the school board. He brought in these tower gardens, and these kids are growing and maintaining and doing businesses, and they are like selling food, and it's entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
They're seeing how the American way works.
Right.
And because these cities that don't have, farming land, they're all cities and it's all concrete everywhere. They don't have a place to do all of that. So this is a great opportunity for them to see how gardening really works.
Right.
Yeah. So the first thing that we're going to do is, this is called wool rock. Okay.
Okay.
And my first step, in your booklet that you will receive when you buy a tower garden,
Yes.
there's your starter kit. So it's
Nice.
got it all laid out for you there. We're gonna soak our cubes in fresh water for 30 minutes. So that's the first thing that I'm gonna do. I have a filter on my water,
Oh, check that out.
and so I will use filtered water
Okay.
to soak. And I'm just gonna soak them, get a nice amount of water in
I'm
here.
so down.
Because what's happening is this is softening this wool rock so that it will absorb and let those seeds germinate. Because that's what we want them to do.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to waste the seeds. We want them to flourish.
Do you get the seeds from Juice Plus?
They do send you a starter kit
Yeah.
that you can get. I also purchased from a local store, that has GMO
Okay.
and organic seeds
Nice.
that way. So I'm just gonna make sure this is nice and full. Let it soak.
How long does this process usually take for someone to get, getting it started in one day, getting it going?
Well, my friend Sherry helped me the first time I did it, and she's had a garden for about 7-8 years.
Yeah.
And I don't know, she came over and helped me put the whole thing together, and then we got my seeds going, and I'll bet she was here maybe 3 hours.
3 hours.
Yeah.
So now that your tower garden is put together, how long do you?
This process take?
Yeah.
I would say with the half an hour of soaking the seeds,
Yep.
no more than an hour. Because really
Really?
what it boils down to now
Cool.
is we're gonna pick out the seeds that
Oh.
I wanna grow.
Okay.
So I have 24 spots in there, and remember I said I had 16 and 16, so I have 34 in here, so I won't be full. I can actually start another batch, or I could even do 34 if I wanted to, but I'm gonna just do 24 for
Right.
now and see where I'm at. And I personally, depending on how many people you are trying to feed, it's just me and my daughter, so I'm gonna stagger grow.
Okay.
Because we don't need a whole bumper crop at once that we can't get down.
Yes.
So I would rather wait for these to get mature and then start new ones. That
New
once
sprouts
these are
later.
gone, I've got new ones coming up.
That's smart. So, Juice Plus not only provides the starter, but can you actually purchase continuous seeds over time also after you've got your kit?
I believe they do have seeds. To be honest, I don't know because I haven't had to repurchase from
See.
them. So, I mean, these little
Great
seeds
question. We
last
can
for
come
quite a
back and
while.
answer.
Yes, for
Yep.
sure. Yes, I can get answers on that. And there is also Facebook. There's a Tower Garden Facebook group,
Oh,
support group that answers a lot of questions on there.
Nice.
People have different things that are going on with their Tower Garden, like,
Right.
hey, what can I do for this? Or this is doing great, and they show pictures. So,
Good.
recipes, all kinds of things.
Sweet.
So, and also, if you go to my website, which is jniemeyer.towergarden.com,
okay.
there's lots of stuff on there as well.
Sweet.
Mhm. So I am going to use some of my seeds that are already opened because
Why not?
Right. And I've got some basil and some Swiss chard and some salad mix. These
So
are my
I'm under the
favorites.
impression that this lady eats a lot of salads and puts greens and vegetables and all sorts of things and fruits into her smoothies, and that's why she is glowing with health.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, it's very nice when you're making a smoothie. You can literally come over here and chop what you want. You put it in your. You don't have to wash it.
That's awesome.
And you just put it in your smoothie and boom, you blend it and you drink it. Or I get home from work and I'm hungry or whatever, I had a long day and I'm like, I'm gonna have a salad. I come over and I cut what I want and I put it in my bowl and I add some carrots and cucumbers and broccoli and cauliflower or whatever. I make like 3 different delicious
Can
dips.
you can you do a lot of variety of vegetables in your tower garden?
As long as it's not a root vegetable.
See, that's what I was wondering too.
So anything that sprouts up, like you can do celery. People have done beans and cucumbers. Greens do wonderful. I mean,
Yeah.
you can do lots of
See.
greens. So that's why I've got, baby greens.
So there's certain, so the root ones, so anything off a vine and stuff, probably not a good idea because you'd have to have a vine.
Yeah, so it's really hard to do anything that's rooted because you don't have dirt in here, like sweet potatoes and carrots and those kinds of things, you know. But if you do anything that's above ground, it does really, really well.
You don't feel like you need a cage or any of those things then, do you?
Some people that have the bigger, the Flex is a bigger, it's got a bigger tank on it. It's probably sits around.
Oh, really?
It's a lot bigger. So I believe
Wow.
this is like 16 gallon and I think that one is 20.
Oh,
gallon.
wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know
So-
there was a bigger one.
Yeah, there's a bigger one. So this is the home and then that one is the Flex.
Oh, okay.
So, and actually. I have-
Too bad they don't have a smaller one for traveler people.
Right. No, that would be a good thought, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Put it in your. I'll show you this. So that's the Flex and that's the home, which is the
Ah,
one that I have.
gotcha. Well, that makes sense then.
So I
Okay.
feel like it does tell you. I thought it was 13 gallons is mine, 20 gallons is the
Yep.
other. Yeah.
Yeah, if they have a little travel one, so someday maybe they'll come up with one for those people who are on the road.
And this is another thing that's nice to see.
Yes.
So what's recommended.
Exactly.
Baby greens, large greens, herbs, fruiting crops, large greens, herbs, flowers, baby greens.
Excellent.
So
Sweet.
That's the
Thanks for
difference
sharing that
between
one with
the
me. Is pulling out her seeds for the tower garden. I have to comment because I noticed there's a fabulous thing she has got. If you notice that her seeds are organic. If you are not getting them from a really good source, non-GMO, and they're not organic, then you're not doing yourself a good service. And I'm very impressed with all of her organics she's got here. So I'm just saying, that is fantastic. She's not only telling you to eat really good, but she's got the good seeds to start her process the correct way. So kudos.
Yes.
High fivers, woman.
and it is a challenge sometimes to try to find them
Oh,
all
yeah.
non-GMO and organic.
Yeah.
If you can get them, pay a little bit more for them.
Oh,
You're gonna get a quality product.
Darn straight.
And
And
it's
that's
you don't have the chemicals going into your body because even though you think it's just a seed that's been chemically
Altered.
modified. Yes. And so a lot of times your body doesn't know
And-
what that, it's not the true deal, you know. It may look like it, may taste like it, but there's something else going on chemically.
Praise the Lord that you know the difference.
Thank you. It's
Mhm.
important.
Yeah, it is. Oh.
And I just put 24 circles. So I'm gonna make 6. And 4.
And you're going to label each one of them to know what the heck you put in what.
I am. And this is gonna be top, and this is gonna be bottom.
And I'm assuming there's a T and a B on the container.
There is.
Oh my stars! They think of everything.
Because then when I take these out of here,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to cross them out, because then I'm going to know what's left. And then I will move it to the tower garden. I have a label maker that I will make kale or whatever it is, and I will put it underneath the spout that I'm putting it in. So then as that grows, I don't have to wonder what it is. I know what it is. It's a good thing.
Wow.
And lightly cover them with vermiculite. That's this. Small seeds are going to be, so I think what I need to do, grabbing all my seeds, moving them with my little diagram. I mean, I need to take care of my dishes. Here they are. And it's all good. So I'm going to empty some of this water out of here.
Okay.
Look at our healthy smoothie that we had for dinner.
It's delightful too.
So now that our rock wool is nice and soaked, okay.
So if somebody wanted to purchase one, okay, give them the price differences between, what's the retail price for a tower garden for the regular size?
Well, let me quote you,
Okay.
because I don't want to tell you the wrong price. Pricing.
Yes.
And so the home, which was the one that I have here,
Yes.
you're looking at $80.83 a month, or paying full of $9.70.
Is there a difference in savings when you pay the full price?
It's $969.96, which is rounded to $9.70. So no.
Okay.
So this is interest free.
Okay.
So
Excellent.
interest free, after 12 months it's paid for, and it then becomes paying for itself, because you just have to have your seeds and your minerals to feed into your water, and the water and your wool rock and your vermiculite, and after that you're just growing. So very minimal expense once you get yours paid for. So the Flex is a little bit cheaper, but that does not have a light system. So keep that in mind. If you wanted to grow the bigger one indoors, you would have to pay for the lights, which would be another. So then you'd be at
the same price.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting, because I know the Flex was a bigger base, wasn't it?
Yes.
Huh.
So
Interesting. How they did that.
these are for multiple tower gardens. If you want to do like a gardening tower garden, like if you want to, have.
What's the Series Garden bundle?
To be honest with you, I'm not exactly sure, because I've never, I don't know.
Okay.
I've not asked that, had that question come up. So that's a question I need to ask.
I know I throw a lot of them in there, don't I?
No, and that's okay, because that's how I learned. But this is my first year having the garden.
Yeah.
So I just bought it for myself in December. So
Woo-hoo.
so this is the different prices of the different things that you can get. So baby greens, if you wanted to get another, people have got 3 or 4 different layers as high as up. They can go 8 foot, whatever.
Really?
Yeah, so they've got them a lot of times in these greenhouses that are
How do you grab them from
ladders?
ladders? People get ladders.
They do. Yeah, and so you can also get a dolly to put on. This one has wheels, but the home or the Flex one does not. So you want to put it on wheels if you want to move it around outdoors. This is the rock wool cubes. If you get a big bundle of them, you can pay the extra. So there's the seedling starter kit. So the seeds that you were asking about, you can get seeds.
Awesome.
The net pots. So the net pots are these. Once you move them from the wool rock, you're gonna wool rock breaks off very easily into the little quarter chunk that it's in. And you'll pop it in here, and then this is gonna pop in here.
Oh, that's so smart.
And it actually just snaps
Snaps right into it.
And Yeah,
That is so cool.
it is.
We're gonna show you guys later. Stay tuned.
That's right. And I'll tell you too, Deborah, you'll have roots that will come down, and that's what they stay watered. That's what sustains it and grows it. It's
Nice.
really cool. So then I wanted to show too, you've got the pH kit, and some people buy a weather protection blanket for their outdoor.
Okay.
And I recommend, and I keep an extra pump on hand because here's the deal. I had a friend who her pump went out, and within 12 hours that she can trace back, it was within a 12-hour period, all of her plants went limp. I mean, all of them just went poo, and she thought she was going to lose her whole garden.
Right.
You know, they were all thriving and doing great. Within 12 hours, they're now limp. And she had another pump in her basement that somebody had given her, so she went down and got it, plugged it in. It was like within 6-8 hours, they all came back to life.
Wow.
So the message of that story is 70% of our bodies need our water, and we need water. We can't go that long without water.
Correct.
Neither can plants. So if you have a backup, you're not waiting to order and reship and get it in a week and all that, because you'll lose your garden by then. But if you've got one for $30, that's a cheap peace of mind.
Yep.
Yep.
Amen.
So that's what I do. Your question was, you had asked me about, the price differences.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I don't sell gardens every day, so I don't have them memorized.
But that's okay.
But that's kind of nice to show people.
Mhm.
You know, because a lot of people want to know up front what all this
Right.
is. Yep.
Go ahead. Do your thing.
Hold on.
Okay.
One more thing that you could probably take a nice picture of. Do I want that do I want my phone number and stuff on Facebook?
Why?
Is it okay? Well, because it would be people I don't know.
Washing hands,
So-
soap, touch and seize. I like her sanitation.
Just to be clean. I don't know what I've touched in the last half
I'm not
hour.
gonna tell you that I know she's gonna really want to get her Thieves hand soap pump eventually.
I love these.
She loves Thieves,
I
so
love
she's
the smell
gonna
of
make. Yep. I did not bring that over for her yet, but she's going to get to enjoy that.
Yes, and I love the Thieves hand sanitizer.
Yes.
Yes. Mhm. So it tells me on here small seeds are 6 to 10 seeds and large seeds are 4 to 6. So these are pretty small. So I'm going to do 6 to 10, and I kind of just pick a number in the middle, and I'm going to say 8, right? That's easy. Sounds good.
Okay.
And I'm going to write on here so this is my top. And I'm going to write right up here, arugula. Arugula. And I'm going to get 8 little seeds.
I would have totally had to spread out that paper a lot bigger.
This one?
Yes, to
1,
read
2,
all
3,
those
4,
out.
5, 6, 7. Oh, I got more than 8 here. So that looks good to me. So it's okay if we have a little more than 8. I think I have like 10 or 11. So I'll just put these 3 back. Because they're pretty little.
And I've commented to Jamie about her beautiful wedding ring. She's married to Christ. She's got a Christ ring on her finger.
I love me. And I love Christ and Christ loves me. He's my beloved. I am
Yes.
his. It's a great thing. So the next I'm going to do dill. And there's no like rhyme or reason what I'm picking here. I'm just grabbing. So and I'm gonna look and I'm gonna see. Oh, dill's kind of a bigger seed. So it says for actually they look kind of. I think those are bigger little there, Deborah. I would say they're bigger.
Yeah, bigger than the other ones you just had.
I'm gonna go with 6 because it says 4 to 6. So we'll just go with 6.
There you go.
And I'm gonna put that in number 2 spot. And then I'm gonna put all the rest right back in the bag. So here's the thing, when you get seeds, you know, you may spend for the organic a little bit more.
Yes.
But look at how much
Quality.
I have left.
I know.
That is going to last me for a long
years
time.
and years and
yeah,
years.
I mean, like, I'm good. I'm good for a while. And so what did this cost me? $1.99 for organic, non-GMO.
There you go. I'm pausing for a second. There we go.
Yep.
average person in an apartment like Jamie here has the tower garden.
Yeah, I have enough room to get me by, but I can also fit my tower garden in here.
I literally did dream some time ago trying to figure out whether or not a tower garden on the road would be useful, but we found that because it's such a small area, not happening. But I do like your very beautiful display of oils up there, though.
Thank
By
you.
your Christ thing. It's
Yes.
very beautiful.
Thank you.
I just had to say that.
Yes, absolutely. Like, those are so good for you. And, you know, you've got thieves and basil and lavender and peppermint. So those are things that you can utilize in your kitchen with your greens. One more addition to being healthier.
Yeah.
It's a whole health thing.
So I like your ideas there.
Yes. We've got
Okay,
good
here we
things
go.
going. Next, we're going to have spinach.
Ooh, it's one of my faves. Besides kale that she's wearing on her t-shirt. My fave. When she showed that to me, I was like, oh yeah, girl.
I love this shirt. My kids will tell you stories about that. When we went to diving meets and stuff, I would always get these smoothie shops. They're kale drinks. So when Juice Plus came out with this, I was like, I gotta have it.
That's awesome.
So I'm putting 6 in here because these are
Okay.
large. These are large. So that's done.
Okay.
Next, we're gonna go with parsley.
Right.
I went over and got a little knife here so that I'm not.
Okay, so you said something about lighting. What?
So the tower garden itself has its own lighting that is automatic that comes on and off. With the starter seeds, to get them going, you have to purchase. I went to Menards and I purchased
Oh.
this grow light,
Okay.
and I'm gonna actually purchase this week a timer for it so that I don't have to turn it on and turn it off every day. It will do its own thing, and I won't have to like babysit it.
Yes.
So to me, it's worth a little bit of
Right.
investment. Or if you go out of town for a day or something, it does its own thing. That's
Right.
the other thing. If you go out of town, the tower garden maintains itself. As long as you got a full tank on the bottom, just make sure your tub is full and you're good to go. Make sure these are nice and wet, and you could leave town for a few days
Really?
and they'll just keep growing.
Yay!
Yeah, so that's good.
Yay!
2, 4.
We're getting down to the little final. She's actually doing the flowers and adding extra goodies that she's never done before. So this can be fun to show everyone.
How that goes.
Yes, exactly.
And my handy dandy chart is working well. So for tonight on the lighting, I'm not going to light it. I'm going to wait until tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. I'm going to let these just germinate tonight.
Oh.
And then tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., I will turn that light on. And then I'll go purchase my timer and set my timer up.
Nice.
Yeah. And I'm going to run it from 6 a.m. until 8 p.m. That's a 14-hour span. You don't have to do that time frame. You could go 5 to 7 or 9 to 9. Wait, am I saying that right? 6 to 8, 5 to 7, or you could go like 9 to 9. Oh yeah, I'm thinking,
Yeah.
that's 12 hours.
Yeah, 9 to 9 is 12. Are you supposed to be germinating 14 hours?
14 hours.
So, it'd be 9 to 11.
9
9
to 11.
9 a.m. to 11 p.m.
You know what I was thinking? I was thinking because 6, I'm thinking 7 to 9.
Yes.
So you can adjust as well.
Yes.
You can adjust an hour or two.
Whatever it would be.
Yeah, whatever's convenient for your schedule. I knew that was 12 hours. It didn't sound right to me. These are kind of little guys. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, you think you gotta, oh, that's about the right amount. But man, 10 adds up quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, get in there, friend.
I like the fact that a lot of things are already available that you can repurchase and reuse too. You get the tower and then everything else is supplied afterwards. That's awesome.
Yeah.
When they come up with a little mini, I'm going to be flipping the lid because I'm going to be like, oh, I got to put it on my boat.
That would be something. For camping or
yes.
if you go out of town for the summer. So 2, these are big.
Yes, they are.
4, 6, we're gonna say 7. Because it said 6 to 8. These are morning glories.
All right.
I wanted to let you know that on my chart,
Yes.
I have a date. This is the
Oh.
date that I planted.
Okay.
So you can see, like, as things begin to sprout, you're going to want stuff to sprout up. Get a good base on it.
Yeah.
You know, a couple inches, 2-3 inches. Get a good strong base on it before you move it to the garden.
So how long does it normally take for them to sprout?
2 to 3 weeks.
2 to 3 weeks.
Depending on what you're growing.
Okay.
I found the last time that I grew, well, my first time actually, the basil came up a little later than everything else, which was kind of odd to me. But I was like, okay, well maybe it just germinates,
Right.
you know, slower. So, because that's like my favorite, and I wanted that to hurry up. That's why I remember it going, come on. And
Let's
the
go.
purple basil was like the last thing. I'm like, come on. But yeah, so I have everything.
And then you wait for everything to be up that high in order to put it in the tower garden, or whenever something
so
reaches.
let's say out of this first row, let's say the spicy arugula, boom, it sprouts up in like 10 days. Okay.
Wow.
I can take that chunk off there, move it to the garden,
And let it
start
do
my
its
garden.
thing.
Yeah, I can take anything off from here that sprouts up and is ready to go, that is strong. That's why I did this,
Oh.
because then I'll just put an X, or I can even put the date in as to
And
when I
when
moved it.
Okay.
Yep, and then I'll know what's left, because I'm going to keep everything in
Yes.
this order so that I can, and then when I transfer it to the garden, I'll label
Handle
it.
it
Yep.
as you go.
Yep.
Sweet.
So this is called vermiculite. So
What is vermiculite?
vermiculite is like it holds moisture. So if you want to get in there and really hone in on that,
Wow.
it's kind of like it's an all natural like composite of
Okay.
that will hold moisture
Interesting.
rather than dirt.
Oh.
So you put it on there, and that's what holds the moisture in there with the wool rock to help that germinate.
Wow.
Yep.
So it's like food for the everything.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Like food and a moisture holder.
Okay.
So it doesn't, and it's kind of like, you know how you cover up the seeds in the dirt,
Yes.
so that the sun has to penetrate, and they have to be strong enough
To-
to climb out of whatever, you know, their shell
Yes.
to come through. And that's what this is going to do. This
Oh.
is going to allow that to cover
Oh.
and give that the strength underneath with the darkness.
That was a good picture on that. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. So I do notice that step 3 wants me in each hole, sprinkle each hole with water, add about a 1/4 inch of water to the bottom of the tray. Okay, so I'm going to cover with vermiculite first. So yes, I put my seeds in, and now I'm going to do vermiculite. And it says that I'm just going to cover them lightly.
Okay.
So I'm just going to take a little pinch, and I'm going to pop them in. I'm gonna need a little more in that one. It's kind of got a little shininess to it too. And I do know that you can get this vermiculite at I think one of the places we have here in town is called Big Green Tomato. Anywhere that's like a growing accessory type place.
Oh,
where you can
really?
get seeds and.
That's another one that I didn't even think to ask. I figured Juice Plus provided all that stuff for you.
This did come with my starter.
Okay.
Because it's part of that. But if you needed to go get local, you could. I believe you can also order it through them. It's like part of the starter kit.
Yeah.
Starter kit.
Pretty cool.
But I don't remember seeing the vermiculite separate on there.
Okay.
On that sheet. So, people, lastly for tonight, I'm not going to say people, I'm going to say friends and family. Because that's what you all are. We're all Americans. We're all together. Yeah. Let's lock arms and take this by the horns here.
Well, so, we're all the world.
Yes.
In Christ.
We're all the world in Christ. Brothers and sisters in Christ. Yes. So, we have to take this on together, because this is a global problem. This pandemic of health, really. And I'm not just talking about the current pandemic that we're in. I'm talking about the pandemic of healthier eating.
Yes.
And diseases and ailments and that kind of thing. So this is what our mission is. This is what we do. So it's 6 a.m. in the morning. I'm going to come out here and I'm going to say good morning, little beautiful things that are getting ready to grow.
Are you going to have music for your sprouts too, because they get all happy with that?
Well, I will tell you, I like my Christian radio and my WCSG Family Life radio, and I like my country. So they are going to get a little bit of that when I have that playing. So yes, they'll be bebopping and, you know,
yeah,
plants are living. So
exactly, because I know that that's exactly a big deal for that.
Yes. So
All
for
right.
tonight, we're just going to let them soak
All right.
and let them germinate, and then we'll see them in the morning.
Excellent.
And now we're off to do oils.
I am here with Jamie, getting to bless her with not only spending quality time with her, but as a licensed cosmetologist and a certified massage therapist, I fell in love with Young Living essential oils because I am a healer. I mean, God gave me the touch to touch people so I could pray over them, and I was brought and given this gift to bless other people, so I could just I had 5 to 7 people come to me in 1 month tell me, have you ever checked into Young Living essential oils? And I'm like, okay, Lord, it does take me a while, but within a month of that, I was like, all right, we're checking into this. So today, because I told Jamie I never gotten to learn to do the tower garden, I wanted her to walk me through all the steps. So now I'm going to bless her with a raindrop, because that is my foundation of why I started becoming an oiler the way I am. I used oils online, health food stores, all types, but God kept saying Young Living essential oils to me, and I was like, okay. So my girlfriend called me up and she's like, hey, we're here in Michigan, we live here in Lansing, but there's a Oils of Ancient Scripture class going on this weekend in Grand Rapids. Let's go. We went. We were there for 3 hours. They literally took and said, you're fully clothed. It is in the middle of winter, but by the time you're done, you're probably gonna have half clothes on. I'm looking at her like, okay, whatever. Seriously, I was down to a t-shirt, no shoes on, and everything, because she was going through the Bible, applying oils of all the different oils that the Bible has that we have in Young Living. We got to walk through the Bible and place oils on us. And I gotta tell you, we were done at 11 o'clock, but I was so pumped up with the frequency of the oils because they're so pure that by the time I got home, I was so pumped up that I didn't get to sleep till 1 a.m. because I was so like pumped up. So
that's amazing.
That is a very rare story because that was my first experience to Young Living essential oils, and ever since then it's just like, I don't think I get that excited about things, but I was like, oh my gosh. Right. So I went home, I signed up, my girlfriend signed up underneath me because she was in something else, and we've just been working it ever since. I love the raindrop and the kit that Gary put together, because...
And Gary is who?
Gary Young is the co-founder of Young Living Essential Oils. He has now since passed, and his wife Mary has taken on the business as a CEO. But he was the pioneer back in 1985. He realized the value and the love that the plants that God gave us to not only grow the fruit and vegetables that you need to put in a capsule to eat, but also to take the herbs and slowly extract the healing oil from them in a very natural way. And they actually, I found out, if I'm not mistaken, and I know I could be totally off on this one, they pay, and I think it's about $1,300 a month to have people hand weed all the farms.
Wow. It's because I take pride in what they're growing.
And Gary has literally went through so much that he has traveled the world to find the people, to go to the farms, to literally sleep by the things, to learn the production, to research the scientific way of making this oil the purest. Like when he found out that certain plants had to get pulled off and get into the steamer right away,
Right.
then he did it. If the plant needed to get pulled off in the dead of freezing winter, like Idaho balsam fir, gotta love that oil, it has to be taken care of in the middle of winter. They do that.
Mm-hmm.
And if the plant needs to be pulled off and not touch the ground, and it has to be sat out in the sun for a long time, they do that. And then they steam it. He does all the progress. He took all the notes, can figure it all out.
For all of the different herbs and how they need to
Every
be
one of them.
processed and what their benefits are.
Yes.
That's amazing. And you know,
He
and I just
spent
have to
all
say,
that time doing that. I was like, whoa.
and look at, we have the benefits of it
I
now,
know.
right? I mean, and I just have to say, I mean, glory to God for, I am honored to be able to be a part of a community that knows about this, because God created these things for our bodies. He knew exactly what our bodies needed for healing and health and vitality, and just not just vitality, but energy to get us through, you know, everything
Yes.
that we're against.
And as I'm starting to realize that it's not about what we have inside us now. It's about what we need to put into us that will take care of whatever God has in store for us.
Health comes from the inside out.
Yes.
Mhm.
And when people, I don't like using the word healing. I like using the word more like taking care of and consuming the right foods.
Rebuilding,
Rebuilding,
restoring.
to put everything back in on us, smelling wise. That's where I'm at. So Young Living in itself has blessed us, because I used to be a candle person. I'm no longer a candle person, because my thought and brain power did not realize that when you are burning something in the air, it's going in the air. Where are the particles going?
In your lungs, because you're breathing it.
And when I found that out, I was like, oh shoot.
Right. And there's a lot of chemicals and a lot of stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
And so like those plugins, I was like, okay, so get the natural diffusers and start diffusing cold water. Thank goodness my husband says, no more burning down a house, because I almost did the one New Year's Eve, and that was not a good thing.
Right.
So it's in the good knowing that Gary made sure that he would take this to the FDA to get these qualified as a internal. That's why we have our vitality line, and that's why JB and I are putting together the Tower Garden. So we are going to continue this journey on
Yes.
to put our oils and our food together. So we are taking our supplements along with our food.
Yes.
to
And
do
we're
this together.
teaching each other and learning as we go.
Exactly. Now the biggest thing is people say, okay, wait a minute, oils, you cannot do that internally. Yes, you can if you are having the right ones that are taking care of it. There is a huge step process, and they seriously research out every oil batch. I mean, that sucker goes through a scrutiny of tests every batch, one step at a time. I can't tell you every one of them, because there is a 5-step plus process. And every time I listen to the seed to seal thing and Gary, I always know that boy, oh boy, do they go. They hire their own, and then they have them outsourced to other people
Right.
that they don't even know.
Gotcha.
So that way they have an understanding that this is going to be healthy for you. And if there is any chemicals in there, that batch goes out.
Right.
And I'm like, we had our favorite oil that I'm going to be placing on you out for 2 years, because the partner farms that they had, all the batches that they tested were bad. So we were out of our favorite oil for 2 years.
Wow. Wow.
And they did not care. I mean, they
That's
cared
dedication.
that,
It's not
yeah,
about money. It's about
because
purity.
it was like they could have sold
Mhm.
it to us and we wouldn't have known.
Right. It's about quality.
I was like, holy cow. So as Jamie shared about not only the wonderful supplementation, but we have our brands of different things. We have a Ninja Red, we have our everyday usage oils. We also have the Thieves line oil that helps for the house to get the chemicals out of the house. But my big one is doing the Raindrop kit, because when the person experiences it, it's a whole different scenario. So what I'm going to do is spray the Thieves, and the reason why that is a little bubbled out is because it got a little overheated.
And I just want to say on a side note, when you were talking about from you said seed to seal. I get that. I can relate to that with Juice Plus, because it is over 200. It is tested for over 200 different properties that could be contaminated with it. So and it's NSF certified. So that's a good thing. That's a third-party company that says what's in it is exactly what's in it and nothing more.
That's why we love our research companies and how they take and protect us, because we know what we have is good.
Bang for our buck, and we know where it's going. Yep.
When we first start off with the Raindrop, there's many different oils, and if I have to count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 oils. Now this one has been well loved. You will find that I have a lot of those like this. This is called White Angelica, and we also have Sacred Angel. Now these ones, we don't.
So you put Thieves on first to sanitize your hands,
yes,
correct?
I did.
Okay, I'm with you now. I gotcha. Okay, and so now we're using.
So I'm using the White Angelica right now. I was going to say you usually don't tap the lid, but I'm not going to transfer this on to Jamie. So that's the frequency otherwise would attach to the client. That's why I'm putting this on to guard any negative energy.
Okay.
So when somebody is having anything like crazy day or just whatever it can be, you're protecting yourself completely. It's not in the kit. I add it to it because you need the protection when you do that. And I even tell my people, when you are doing this weekly, because it is a weekly treatment.
Okay.
That when you're doing it, you should actually put that on no matter what, because when you've been dealing with a whole lot of stuff,
right,
it'll help clear all that out. Our first one is the Valor, and there's the Valor, the major one that was gone for 2 years. And I tell you, when that came back in stock, it was grabbed up and snatched so often that they had to actually take it out of the everyday oil kit.
Oh wow. Because they couldn't keep up with the production of it.
So that is why it's no longer in there. But I'm always telling people, make sure you get that. When you're doing the Raindrop kit, there's a Vitaflex, what it's called. Now the Valor, and I'm not going to be able to tell you everything about every one of these oils because it's way too much. Sometimes I have my cheat sheet on me, and I don't think I even have it in here in my sheet. See, I even carry around my Raindrop.
She's getting into her bag.
I have my Raindrop bag that I wear. See, it has Deborah Hardman on it. It has my phone number. It has all the oils that
you would use.
Yep.
It's quite cool.
Baylor, oregano, thyme, basil, cypress, wintergreen, marjoram, aroma seeds, peppermint, and of course the White Angelica. And I carry that around, so when I do events and stuff, I always have it.
That's awesome.
So the Valor, as I'm about ready to apply it onto Jamie's feet, is the one that is the closest frequency to our body. And Gary always talks about when you're going to go eat, have any type of food, you put the Valor on because it gets the body prepped to receive. And I'm going to put more on because I didn't put any on Jamie and it soaked right into my body. So I always put it on the bottom of the feet, and I always hold and I pray. Heavenly Father, thank you so very much for this union together and for providing the time and energy that we have giving us the freedom to share and to love on each other as you've called us to do, and to share the love you have. We just ask that you bless this time. You take these oils into Jamie's body to do what your will is for her body. As I pray, I just say that whether you are the healthiest person or are dealing with a lot of things in your body, the oils will do what they are called to do in the body. Some, it could take like a long time, a couple months, just like the Juice Plus, to get in and do its thing and clean out. Others, it could be as soon as a couple weeks because they have been taking good care of their body. It all depends. And doing a synergistic of cleaning out your body internally with the food that we are ingesting and the supplementations that we're taking, that cleaning out your house with thieves and applying oils is also part of the cleansing process to get our bodies prepped to serve and work for our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Yes, Lord.
And that's why we pray together, and thank you for this union. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Father.
And as I've been holding her feet, I've been feeling the warmth a little bit. Not a lot, because she does have a little bit of a non-circulation, but over time, should be a little bit of a throbbing, a little bit of a warmth going on and stuff. It will just take some time sometimes.
Well, just to let our listeners know, the reason why we're doing this is because I have some circulatory issues with my hands and my feet and my legs. And so Deborah is helping me to revitalize that and let my body heal with oils. She's going to share with me and teach me. And did I get it all right?
Yes, you did a fantastic job. It's all good. Now, as I'm doing each one of the oils, some people, they will be like, I will not touch my feet, or I will not let other people touch my feet. The great news is you can take these oils and put a roller ball on the tip of the oil itself and roll it on your feet so you don't have to touch it, or you can roll it on the back of your neck, or just place it in the palm of your hand and just smell it and enjoy it. There are so many different ways to just use these oils and bless your body with them. It's not you have to do this one particular. The only thing that I have realized, Gary never made a blend bottle that says Raindrop. There was a reason, must be, for that. He wanted them layered just like he learned in the ancient time, that you layer on each one as you go. Did you feel a little heat going on down there?
My hands, I could feel the warmth from your hands. Yes, it felt good.
Good. So that was Valor. Next one is oregano.
Now, I know oregano is used, I feel like I've read that that's used for, like, people have used it for if they get warts or just different things that way, or skin ailments.
I always say that oregano just has a good, they all have good health properties to them, and they go in and do what they were supposed to do. We don't have anything particular. It just has their health benefits. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you...
It could be different for each person depending on what their body needs.
Exactly. Just like the food.
Right.
When we consume it, you don't know if carrots, you need a whole bunch of them.
Right.
To do something particular. You have no clue until all of a sudden you're needing it.
Right.
So that's
kind of like when you start craving it when you eat the Juice Plus, you start craving.
Yes.
Because then your body says, I need this to continue to rebuild that. Yes.
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 So it's like we tell people there is no biblical thing about it. You basically need to just use it and do it. There is a book, just like we have for our Bible, that's called the Essential Oil Desk Reference, and it will help you. And you do need to take and relax, because there you go. It will help you to understand where the plant comes from, the origin, and all that good information and stuff, and what the generic stuff is. But there's no claim to fame. There's no one particular, because everybody's body is so different. It can do.
And I get that even with Juice Plus, because
Yes.
it can do for one person sooner than what it could do for somebody else, or everyone has different benefits that come from it. Yes.
And next one is time. And I always laugh because we always need more time in our life.
Yes, but I feel like if we had more time, we'd fill it with more things. So.
Still have my swimsuit bag. The pool. I love it.
Yeah, we went to the pool today and relaxed.
Yes.
In fact, just so you guys know, Deborah and I met at the pool just a little over 2 weeks ago. And, she was familiar with Juice Plus, and I seen her Young Living bag, and we got to talking. And
well, she was familiar with Young Living. She goes, I know those.
Right. I said, are you with Young Living? And she says, yes.
How
and
do
then
you know? And I go, I forgot.
Yeah. And I said, well, I'm with Juice Plus. And she says, you're a Juice Pluser?
Because we were worried about our, making sure we were giving each other space on the sidewalk.
Our 6 foot social distancing.
And then we realized, oh, we're good. We gotta. So I've been telling my girlfriends, oh, this is so funny how we've gotten to find each other. Usually when you are doing this is really bad because I hardly ever take my wedding band off. But you're really not supposed to have your
like rings and stuff.
Yes, on when you're doing this, and you're always supposed to keep constant contact. I'm just not in a professional, setting right now. I'm so laid back that I'm just like, going with the flow.
Right. And so when you say constant contact, that one hand's always touching my foot that has it in your palms.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Because there's an energy that's related to this, correct?
Every oil has its own a frequency. So that's what's so beneficial. And my favorite thing is when I've done raindrops on other people that have animals. And I used to have my bags open because I had a bigger bag that I carried oils around with. The animals would get on to the bag and rub around in the oils.
They liked it.
The bottles were closed, but they
could smell it.
They were attracted to the frequency and everything.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we have not only a pet line that is for pets only. We also have a baby line it's called the Kid Sense. We also, actually seedling, and then we have a Kid Sense, so the younger kids. So that way when you are worried about what do I do, what do I use and stuff, we get their own line. So that way you're not freaked out.
Right.
You can just put, and it's really weird because.
So if a baby's colicky or something.
Tummy jives. That's one of the kids' one.
If they have tummy aches and
really
stuff.
funny because we were talking about the Zyto Compass and the iToby at the pool. When I've been scanned, I gotta laugh. I have kid size everything. I seriously, if somebody asks, when I go to the dentist, I said, just get the kid size stuff out. Trust me, it'll fit. And it does, like a glove. And they just don't understand. I go, I never grew into an adult. So it was not ironic that when the kids line came out, all of a sudden my body's like, this is a better frequency for you.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
It was coming up on and I'm laughing, going, not surprising.
Now, what was that oil that you just used?
That was basil. I'm sorry.
Yep, I could smell that. Mm-hmm.
And now we got cypress.
And these do smell wonderful. I just have to say, it's so refreshing. And by doing it just down the arch of your foot and through your big toe, what
This
is
is
that
the
about?
spine of the foot.
The spine
Of the whole,
foot.
yep. This is down to your pelvic region, all the way up to the head.
Okay. Now I have done a little bit of research on that and how putting stuff on the bottom of your foot, different areas will affect different organs and different organ systems.
Yes, exactly. And when you Vitaflex it in, it's positive, neutral, and negative.
What's that mean?
Positive, neutral, and negative.
Oh, okay.
As you're Vitaflexing it into the system.
So there's a technique, a hand technique
Yes.
that you're using.
Exactly.
Okay.
And when I do it on the spine, I Vitaflex it like that with the thumbs up the spine when I do that.
Okay. This is very cool, Deborah. It is. Now, is there a name for what they call, like, what you're doing, or?
It's kind of Vitaflex.
Vitaflex.
Yep.
Okay.
It's the technique.
And so when you started with Young Living, did they train you, like, in all of this, or how did that come about?
That's a good question. Gary, it actually was 2010 or 11. He was doing a training down in Dallas, Texas, and I went down there, and there was like 1,500 people in the big area, big room, and we got to be trained. And there is a Dr. David Stewart, I think was. There's a group of people. They are trained. They're called the Care People. And I'm trying to remember what the acronym after CARE stands for, because they never did that. But that was one of when we did the Oils of the Bible class in Grand Rapids, that was one of their sub things that you could go get trained on all that.
Mm-hmm.
And they were there to help facilitate to get this process done correctly.
Gotcha.
So when you're doing this, you could do one person or two people working on one person, and at the end, they always put a hot towel compress on the back of you before you start. Literally, what was really cool is before you start, we usually measure people, and by the time you're done, because if you're doing the spine of your spine,
Mm-hmm.
the spine elongates. It actually just helps get the oxygen and the mobility, and you can actually have a little bit of a lengthening just from one treatment.
Wow. Well, it's like the vertebrae open up,
Yeah.
right? And they're allowing all that to get into the spinal cord.
So I was like, this is so very cool. So we got to do that one, and then there's this other kit called the ULA 7 kit. It's Faith, Family, Fun, Finance, something else. Finance, field. I was trying to remember them all. Anyway, they asked for a massage therapist to come in, and they were doing, it's called the Young Living Signature Massage. And so they had me come in, and I got trained under the ULA people technique to use the ULA oils with them. So I've gotten multiple trainings, but my favorite is definitely doing the Raindrop, because I can do this with anybody, anywhere, and I don't need to really have a certification, but I really don't just say, okay, this is how much, but the starting for anyone to get a basic just treatment like this could be $75 all the way up to $150. Now, the reason why $150 is because a regular massage is $60, and then you're adding on the oils and the time that you're putting into doing all this other stuff. So it's kind of like you're getting the ultimate treatment.
Today I am.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So it can, and some people, when you're thinking about the price benefits, yeah, for our health to stay as good as it is, yeah,
Now,
So
what oil was that?
that was wintergreen. I'm so bad. Now we're on to aromaceas.
I can smell the wintergreen. I knew that there had to be some kind of mint or like an evergreen or something in there.
Yeah.
And this one is what?
Aromaceas.
Aromaceas.
Aromaceas is a blend oil. So like the Valor is. We only have 2 blend oils in these.
So when you talk about because you've done massage therapy as well.
Yes. I've been massaging since 94.
Okay. And so normally, like your services, you will do a massage, like a full body massage,
Mm-hmm.
and then you will do it like a raindrop.
Mm-hmm.
And the raindrop simply means what you're doing right now, all the different oils.
Yes. On the feet and the back.
Okay. So you'll do this whole regimen on the spine as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what ranges between 75 and 150.
Right. Because when you're getting a regular treatment, you're getting, a full treatment of getting all the touching everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're working on bringing the oils in and doing all this other stuff, there's a lot of extra things you're doing
Right.
for the body.
Now, how often do you do these, you say?
I do a lot of them. So it's as a needed basis, but for yourself personally, we need this done weekly just to keep up the health maintenance
Okay.
for our body. What was more interesting I found was, and then we got the peppermint at the end here,
Okay.
is I had a family member who came to me when her daughter was a teenager and was experiencing some issues. And I went and did all the regular oils, but she had some personal issues and I loved how you said I had a discernment for figuring out what she might need as oil or substitution.
Right.
And that's where the Zytocompass and the Itobi comes into play, because I used to have the Zytocompass, but it was a program that I had to carry around with me. Eventually, I feel like I'll get the Itobi because it's a handheld and you can attach it to a phone. Got to be portable. That's what I do. I'm portable on the beach most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I figured out what she needed, I just put it on her, and it actually, which was very interesting, is I didn't say anything to her, but I said, how are you feeling? She goes, great. She told me a week later she could tell after the 6th day she started feeling the symptoms coming back.
After the 6th day. And that's how that kind of goes back to, like you said, once a week. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I was like, well, see, now you understand why you should be doing this regularly as a maintenance. But if you are dealing with a lot more things internally, you might need it twice a week. So if I'm doing twice a week, and Monday and Thursday or Friday,
Right.
you do it in a time span. So that way, if you're starting to notice some changes and stuff, heck yeah, I would be doing a lot more of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you're all
When you
set
say
with
when
it.
you're like dealing with extra stuff, like you could be having emotional things going on or the stresses or whatever
Yes.
in your life. Okay.
Anything that triggers it, you can totally add extra stuff to it.
Hi everyone.
Hold on. Hi.
Hi everyone. Welcome back. We are 4 weeks in to growing our seedlings. By the way, I'm Jamie Niemeyer with the Juice Plus Company. I'm a partner. Also, they have a tower garden, and that's what we've been working on. We planted our seedlings to get them to sprout, and now it is time to move them to the garden and watch magic happen. So 4 weeks ago today, we made a diagram showing what's in each spot. I've already moved 2 of the things because my last row I had experimented with flowers because I had never done flowers. So I have actually moved those outside into dirt, and it was
it was morning glories, which are doing really good, and wheatgrass, which is also doing very well because I'm going to feed it to my cats. So, and I'll probably use a little bit in my salads. So we have quite a bit that we're going to move, and so we're going to take it just right from the basics here. So in my tower, I have already put 13 gallons of water because this is a 13-gallon reservoir. So I just used, I have a filter on my sink that you can buy at Meijer's or whatever, and I used that, and I just filled 13 times I filled a gallon, and I just put it in here to get that ready, so that way we didn't take a lot of time doing what's common sense. Easy to do. So we have this here, which is a timer for the pump. There's a pump that's inside this reservoir that kicks the water up and showers all of the plants. The pump runs 5 minutes every 45 minutes. So I'm going to plug that in. I'm going to plug in my pump, and it's going to run just like that. And I'm going to wait and do the lights last because we don't need them on right now. I'll wait until we get everything in, so we can just kind of tuck that around over here. Notice one feature about these lights that are really nice is that they move. So you can adjust them as you need. I try to just get them to where, and not only do they move, but you can swivel, like you can turn this, you know, different ways as well. So it's very convenient. So I'm going to start by, we've got to put our minerals in. Because when our plants get in and the water kicks on and it's feeding them the water and the nutrients, we want our water to be pH correct. So to do that, I spilled a little bit of water here when I took this off, so I'm gonna do this. We're going to put in the correct amount of minerals. And the minerals, when you purchase your tower garden, you actually get minerals that come with it. Let's turn on the light so we can see. And I want to point out that in this growing guide that comes with your tower garden, super easy to follow. So I mean, it starts out with starting your seeds. Then this little page right here is just regular greens transplanting, baby greens transplanting. It's really that easy. And so they have a page here that's your LED grow light installation. It's 5 steps laid out so easy. On the back, timer instructions, okay? So you can set your timer to run on a 14-hour schedule so that it's maintenance free. You do nothing. It turns on, turns off every day by itself. You watch it grow and you enjoy it when it gets ready to eat it. That's it. So I am going to the page here that says filling your reservoir and adding nutrients. That's where I'm at. So the tower garden, like I said, it holds 13 gallons of water. And so I've already filled it with cool water. That was step 1. It says do not overfill, never use softened water, heavily chlorinated water, or very hard water as it can damage your plants. So keep that in mind. And it does recommend if you have hardwood floors to put like a piece of carpet or a mat down just so that you don't ruin your floors if you were to spill some water or something. I've never had this leak. It would be more that you're spilling it, getting it in and out. So, so we're going to add the correct amount of mineral blend to the reservoir. And so we're going to follow the instructions on the labels. So I believe, bear with me a minute. So now I had to just figure out, and I had to make sure that I was calculating correctly. So I just wanted to take a little break to make sure my math is correct. And so this is 13 gallons. This cup right here is 250 milliliters. And it says to put in 20 milliliters for each gallon. So you take 13 gallons times 20 gives you 260. This is 250, so I'm going to put 1 of each of these in there, and I'm not going to worry about the extra 10. It'll be fine. fill this guy up. And I'm even gonna go all the way to the rim just because that'll probably make up the difference, the 10. And we're gonna pour it in. There's one. And I did a little shake up on it just to make sure whatever's in here is mixed. There's no chemicals in this. This is all an organic feed. It's completely safe, completely healthy to use. Oops. All right. Now, we're going to take our pH strips. And we're going to check our pH after we stir it. We want to stir it around real good. We have a pump that's inside here, so you're just going to kind of stir it around and make sure that that nutrient gets really stirred up in here. And it's not just in one spot. You want it really. So I keep this spoon and I just use a mason jar to stick it in to dry. It doesn't have to be anything expensive and complicated. You just keep it simple. So I use this lid here. It's kind of like a tray. And I'm gonna take my stuff out. This is a kit, a pH kit that comes with it when you order it. And it has a nice little guide that tells you where you want your pH to be, so super easy. I'm not a chemist, but I can do this. So I'm gonna take the water and I'm gonna just put it in here and I'm gonna fill it to 5 mLs. And then I'm going to take this and shake it up a little bit. And I'm going to put a couple drops. So it can start to come out. 1, 2. And I'm going to see what color it's going to change to. We want it to be between, I think the ideal, it said 6.5 to 7.5, if I remember right. Yeah, the optimal pH is 5.5 to 6.5. So 5.5 right here. 5.5 to 6.5. So I'm gonna go with 6. So if I set that right there with the lighting, I can kind of check to see where does my color fit. And I think that it's a good color. It's right in the middle. So we're good.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if we were not good, we have acid and base. And so I'm just gonna say on a side note, the first time I had my tower garden, I put distilled water. I bought store distilled gallon water, and I had to use base to balance it.
Oh.
Because it was acidic.
Wow.
It was on the orange end.
Huh.
So I had to add base to bring it down to the green. I never had to use this.
Huh.
So this has been a little bit of an experiment for me because I actually used my filter from my sink to see
Why not?
what's it gonna do. I mean, do I need to add this or
Yeah.
not? Because that's a difference in
Yes.
the pH on the water.
Right.
I had to add nothing.
Wow, that's fantastic.
So all I had to do was put my minerals in to feed the plants, and my pH is good. I'm a happy girl. So I'm gonna put this back in there. Actually, I'm gonna let that sit and dry because I got that wet. So now I'm gonna just kind of dump that. You don't want to put that back in there because there's chemicals from that droplet. So you want to dump that in your sink. rinse it out, let it dry. I just kind of put it with my dishes and let it dry. Now I can put this back on. Our reservoir is now all set to feed our plants. That's easy. That's it. So, like I said, if your pH were off, this is where these two pieces would come in.
Okay.
And it's all explained. So, now we can start transplanting the plants from here to there. Because they have the proper water to feed them with the nutrients. So, here we go. I have my handy dandy chart, which is going to tell me what's where in my my system here, so that I know what I'm moving. I have this labeled. I'm going to show you so you can see. I have this labeled T for top and B for bottom, okay? So that when I look at my chart, T for bottom, I know what's in my rows. So, the other thing I did, helps to have it for files and other things, but to have a label maker.
Right.
Because then I can take a label and I can stick kale or whatever it is I'm moving it to, and it's nice and clean and neat. This doesn't leave sticky residue. It peels off very nicely. It's just an easy system. So the first one I'm going to move is spicy arugula. And let me just show you, if you can come up here a little bit. This, how easy this comes off here. It's like a brick that you're just going to break off. Like so. You see these fine little, this is the root system, okay? The root system has already come out from the bottom of the wool rock. And that's what's going to sit down in here and be fed by the watering system, and these will grow.
Nice.
So the only thing I'm going to be taking into consideration is, okay, what am I transplanting? Is it a small herbal, or is it going to be a larger lettuce, kale type thing? Because that's going to depend on where I want to put it. So this is spicy arugula, so I am going to put this in one of these because it's going to grow bigger. Okay, so I just pop it in there, and then I'm going to, boom. Okay, I'm going to go over here to my label maker. I'm going to put spicy.
The printer doesn't come with, it's an extra accessory, but it is well worth the mountain gold to be able to be organized, to know what you have.
It's a little bit of legwork right now, but
if you want to know what you have in that question,
it'll
some
keep it
things you
clean.
can look at and know that, oh, I know what this is, but sometimes you don't.
Boom. And I'm going to put it on the bottom because the plant's going to grow big right here. I don't want to hide it.
Right.
You know, I want to be able to see that. So the next thing is dill. Now, in my mind, dill is an herb.
Yep.
So with an herb, let's pull those tender little, you don't want to rip these off. These are tender.
Yeah.
They're part of the system. Dill is an herb that I'm going to just stick up top.
You don't have to
because
put the little cup in there, huh?
You don't have to do the cup with the top hoppers. Nope.
Ah.
You just tuck that little guy right down in there, just like that. As long you make sure that they're pushed down tight. You want to make sure they sit down tight
Okay.
to the bottom because it's the root system
Oh.
that's going to
All
get
right.
fed. You know. Okay.
Yep.
So now we're gonna dill print. Okay, so I've gotten a few, and I hit a spot where I want to talk about. So baby greens. These two rows are for herbs and baby greens because they're not going to get real big. They're a very tender, delicious grow. So I don't have to put a hopper in here. I don't have to put not a hopper, but can't remember what it's called right now, but one of these little things, the cage or a netting pot. So I am just going to stick in, and I'm going to push it down and just make sure it's in there tight. And then I'll label it. guys know, so I'm transplanting right now, and my garden just turned on. Because remember, 5 minutes every 45 minutes, it's going to run and it's going to feed it. I don't have to quit working. I can keep transplanting. Maybe even say how relaxing this is to listen to.
That's why I'm in awe right now. I'm going, yeah. I just think, you know, we're RV travelers. I'm like, too bad they don't have a little tiny fountain, one that could just do like 3 or 4 different things, because that would be so much fun for Craig and I to just enjoy something so small, but enjoy the luxury of having that. That's why we've had to switch over to having a waterless Young Living essential oil diffuser, because we didn't want to bump the water and have it all go all over the place either.
Right.
When we do it. Because otherwise, that's exactly what will happen. We're on the road, Craig hits the brakes, all of a sudden the water goes everywhere. Not a good thing.
As a side note, as I'm putting stuff in different places, well, first off, I want to show you, look how easy I can just turn that, boom, and then I can get to it. It's very mobile. So as I'm placing stuff in different places, I'm keeping in mind, how bushy is this going to get? I don't want to put big bushy things next to each other. I kind of want to like let it have its own space and not choke itself out.
That makes sense.